Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dr. Hank Show. And you know what we do here. We help you become happier and more successful. And you're going to absolutely love our show today because it is about happiness and it's specific to real estate happiness. And I'm pleased to have with us our guest, Heidi Bolyard. And Heidi, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Heidi is just amazing. She has a degree in environmental design and architecture. She is an architect, a builder, an entrepreneur. And what I love best is she loves inspiring her clients and nurturing families. Love it all. And then the prize, she loves to create more happiness and joy in their lives. So welcome, Heidi, and tell us a little about this happiness and how do you create happiness in real estate in people's lives?
I love creating happiness. So growing up, I loved family gatherings, being together with my family. We celebrated practically every single holiday together, including like Mother's Day and Father's Day. So always being together. And as I became older, I realized it wasn't just about us being together. It was really about the home that we gathered in. Because that home, even though there was 26 of us, I think, even though there was that many people in the home, it really functioned to allow us all to feel like we could be present with one another and interact and eat together and play games together and hear each other's stories. So from that, I went into residential architecture after college and just loved working with families to create spaces where they could make memories with their family.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you actually, and we'll talk about a little bit later on how you just have an amazing opportunity for those real estate agents that are listening that can actually use some of this in order to help other people's families be happy. And can you give us some example on how do you bring happiness and joy into the architecture, if you will, into the home?
So it's really about designing for families. So it's finding out their needs, talking to them about what they're looking for, their dreams, their likes, their dislikes. Like when you really understand the client, then it's really easy to design a home that aligns with their lifestyle. And I have so many clients that say, I don't know how you did this, like how you created this, but when I walk into my home, I just feel peace.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just makes you happy when you walk into the door and drop all your stuff and just you're at home. It's your retreat. Your sanctuary from the busy outside world.
You bet. And so is this mainly new homes then, or can you take existing homes as well?
Yeah, so we do custom homes, but a lot of what we do and what we really love to do is renovate existing homes. So take early 20th century homes that are all compartmentalized and really convert them into a home for the 21st century family.
Okay. And how does that look different than 100 years ago or whatever?
Well, then the rooms were all compartmentalized and there was a lot more formal rooms. So they had the formal living room and the formal dining room and everything was just in its own separate spaces. So now we live in much more open spaces.
Yeah.
So just so you can, even if you're not doing the same activity, at least you're still interacting with one another, or you at least feel present with one another.
Yeah. So it's more open then, and you put more openness in it. And do you build on your custom homes? Do you actually build I always get a kick out of the formal dining room. I don't know many people that use a formal dining room.
No.
And they're usually, when we get together, it's around the bigger kitchen table. And I'm thinking about my son and their family, they have a bench, that they use and open and in the kitchen, and then the couch is there and the big screen. So, the kids can be playing their things and the adults can be talking their things or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's like, I've never been in that formal dining room. Now, do you want
And it's your son's house. So that's great.
Yeah, yeah. And I walk by it, every time because it's
Mhm.
like by the front door and I walk by it. And, basically the only time we go there is when I'm chasing the kids, tickling them, and we're
Yeah.
running around the
Do they use
table.
it for other things? Like, 'cause sometimes I see people use it for like games and things like that, or their kids use it for a homework space or,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
So in other words, take out the dumb table, right? Is that what you would do? Yeah. Take
But I
out.
have some clients that they're just like, we have grandma's dining room table or great grandma's dining room table, and they don't want to part with it. And it's just
Yeah,
like, okay, but that's a lot of square footage to
yeah,
use for
yeah,
just a museum.
yeah.
So when people do that, I actually tell them, I was just like, well, if you're just going to have the table in here, you have all of this beautiful china, probably from your grandmother as well. Let's set the table. So at least like when you walk past it, you're like, oh, that looks really pretty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They add a little something. That's
That's
cool.
right.
So, do you actually build a formal dining room then anymore? Like,
Depends on the client. There are still a few people that we work with that want a formal dining room,
yeah,
but too, I feel like it's gotten smaller and smaller.
yeah.
So,
It's gotten smaller, and has it actually been reduced then as well?
mhm,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Or I should say eliminated. Like, do you eliminate that? And then what do you put in there? What typically would be, good. I'm kind of thinking about telling my son, hey, why don't we get rid of this, dining room table and put in what? What would we
I've
do?
seen people put in like studies in the space, but I've
Okay.
also seen people do really fun things like put in a billiards table.
Oh yeah.
Which
Yeah.
how fun to have like a billiards table on the first floor of your home.
Right.
So, especially if you have, younger kids and things like that, or yeah,
Yeah.
even teenagers, then they'll, use it more often.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it is in on that main level where everybody's at and interacting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And again, I mean, I do get it that sometimes we need, people like, hey, I want to have a big dining room table because the
Mhm.
holidays and have the whole family around. And so I get that. But again, my experience is, hey, we're all kind of doing different things. We don't really want to be
Right.
stuck in the chair, if you will, on doing that. And there's a game on or whatever, there's other
Yeah.
stuff going on that interests them. So that's the formal dining room, the formal living room. What do you do with that? Do you build in even a formal living room, or what do you call it now?
No, we don't really have anyone use a formal living room anymore. It's
Yeah.
more so that they have a study.
Uh,
I've worked with people that they actually have his and her studies.
okay.
So
Yeah.
they enjoy being together, but they're older. So they also want to, like, they watch different TV shows, and one of them
Yeah.
likes to watch TV and one of them likes to read. So then they also have like their own studies where they can
Yeah.
go and be away.
That's great. And I'm thinking too, because the pandemic, like the need for another Zoom room, and so this would be a
Yeah.
great,
A second home office.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, a different place to where we can kind of, shut that off and be able to do that. So we covered, and I'm getting it on the happiness, and for sure, we're physical human beings in our environment. Like I look out, in fact, I'll show you. Oh no, I can't. Sorry, I'm using a different camera, but I'm looking out right now on the 15th floor, and I'm looking at this beautiful woods and the sky and the, you know,
Oh, beautiful.
and so when I'm in the condo, it's more, I'm outside. I'm in all it is, seeing this
Mhm.
beautiful world and seeing the sunrise and sunset. So, but we are redoing all of our like furniture, and I personally think we have everything real nice, but we're redoing it, and just getting it more modern, whatever, and making it a little bit lighter. We have like brown wood, and so we're making it
Mhm. And
lighter.
people will be surprised too, like when you do have darker colors and, darker stained woods, it
Yeah.
makes the spaces feel smaller as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
really lightening things up, like the paint
I mean, you can take
colors,
her out.
stains, things like that, that really does help, like just make spaces sometimes feel bigger as well. Because sometimes people tell me they're like, everything's too small. And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
not too small. It's
Uh,
the, sometimes it's the window treatments that are on, yeah, on the windows. Like people love those, the wood blinds, but if they're stained, they block out all your light.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, so that's great. So, what are a few other tips you could give us to, because most people are in existing homes, apartments, whatever.
Mhm.
And so, what are some things that you typically are finding that you can do, pretty easily, inexpensively, whatever, make some changes? So, what might that look like, Heidi?
Well, like even just look at the spaces in your home because we all have spaces that some are too small and some are too big. And, like you said with your son not using his dining room, like some spaces we just don't even use.
Yeah.
You're kind of taking an inventory of what you have
Mhm.
and what you want to have and seeing
Yeah.
how you can make those two come together and work together.
Yeah.
So one thing is I tell people is just, clutter creates chaos. So
Uh-huh.
find ways to get all of like so many of us have, we end up bringing our mail into our kitchen and things like that. And it just all gets dropped on the counter. And then that's what you look at then when you come home.
Yeah.
So when I talk about like the clients that I have that they're like, we walk in our home and it just makes us happy. Like they don't walk into like they have a place where they can drop things when they come into their home. So
Yeah.
that all that mail in their purse and their keys and all that
Yeah.
doesn't come into, their living spaces. It gets kind of dropped before they get in. So that once they do like walk into like their kitchen and things, it's
Yeah.
a cleaner space.
That's awesome. That's
So yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I love those ideas. And I was just thinking about on how much of the I'm a mental scientist, and so I know that thoughts become things. So I basically
Mhm.
help people become happy by having happy thoughts, if you will, because that's
Yeah.
really kind of thoughts become things. And so what do we want? But I love on how, because again, us being these physical beings, and you making the environment easier, and I know also on that we're creatures of habit, so we just get used to walking into the same kind of, this is how our
Yeah.
house is. So I like this whole idea about, hey, let's take an inventory and what do we have? What can we change? What don't you like about, the mail being on the kitchen counter or whatever? And, could we put a place there and get a table or, whatever? And what space are we using? What aren't we using? How we can rearrange it. So it's just great. And then with your expertise, you could actually, I'm assuming you could help with, you could anywhere, in America, whatever, that you could help people by them sending them their dimensions or whatever, or what they want to
Yeah.
build. And,
Mhm.
and so how does that play out? Like, how do you do that with your clients?
We work with more people locally, though
Okay.
we do work with some people like in surrounding states.
Uh-huh.
It just depends on the project and the client.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And then you're getting, then you get the whatever the dimensions or whatever it is, and
yeah,
you're able to do
dimensions and
your
pictures and
architecture stuff.
yeah.
And
Now it's
uh,
easier too because I feel like we pretty much or so many people live on Zoom. So
yeah,
even being able to walk through a home with somebody on Zoom to be able to see the spaces, because sometimes it really is getting, seeing the spaces to really understand them.
yeah,
Yeah.
great, great. Well,
But for us
super.
too, it's
Yeah.
interesting. 'Cause sometimes it's once we have the floor plan, and then
Uh-huh.
once we're looking down in like at it, like
Yeah.
in kind of bird's eye view, then you can kind of see the opportunities of what spaces can be reallocated to other spaces as well.
Yeah, yeah. Do you do
Yeah.
the 3D stuff or whatever where you can actually
We
virtually?
do a little bit of it.
Yeah.
TV makes it look so easy and so fancy, but like there are so many people behind the scenes working
Yeah.
on making those 3Ds and those walkthroughs look
Right.
just incredible. And people are like, we want that. And I'm like, yeah. We can make that happen for you, but it's
Yeah.
probably more than you're willing to spend.
Right.
A little bit bigger budget than.
Yeah. So how would we get a hold of you for this part? Because we'll move into now on real estate, a program that you have for real estate agents and a freebie that you're going to give away. But what's another, how can we
Yeah.
get a
So our
hold-
architecture firm is Simplified Living Architecture.
Okay.
In our website, which too, if you just want to go on there and see our portfolio of the work we've done, because I know people like seeing before and afters and things like that, which is always so much fun.
Yeah.
But our website, simplifiedarchitecture.com.
Okay, great. Simplified architecture.com. And that sounds great. And then tell us what you have for us real estate agents that we have a lot of real estate and real estate professionals and agents, whatever. And so tell us a little about what you have for us to be able to.
Yeah. So I have, as a residential architect, I've been in the industry since 2000. So it's hard to believe it's been 22 years.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
You're just
Yeah, so I've taken that knowledge and experience and I've converted it into a training program to teach real estate agents how to think like an architect.
wow.
So just to think in a different way, to think the way that I do. So, you know, honestly, when I meet with my clients, like I ask them hundreds and hundreds of questions. I want to know everything about them. Like what they like, what they don't like, what works in their home, what doesn't work in their home. Like just taking it to a much higher level than just kind of some of the basic questions that are asked when somebody's looking for a home.
Yeah.
Because the thing too is it's not like you're going to be, you know, especially with the way that real estate is right now, it's crazy. But even if it's a sought after neighborhood that your client's looking to get into when it's a normal real estate like it still can be really challenging. So really understanding what they're looking for just to give you helps them on a whole different level. And kind of like what you said earlier, what you think about, you bring about.
Yeah.
Like if your client may not even really know what they're looking for.
Right.
So it's helping them figure out what they're looking for.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so how does so tell us a little about the program and how long it is and like, you know, how I could actually help my clients.
Yeah, so it's what we have is a 4-week course
Okay.
to help our clients do that. We take them through 4 different steps along those 4 weeks. So just helping them training them to really simplify the process, because it really does, like learning anything new is challenging. I just spent the weekend learning about business finance. That was an intense 17 hours. But I've always avoided it because it scares me.
Yeah.
So learning anything new can be challenging.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like once you know it, like once he went through everything, I was like, oh, this is so simple. Why was I like avoiding knowing this knowledge?
Yeah, right.
So just simplifying that process, because then you can help your clients on a different level. And it's not that you're going to be able to help them find every single thing they're looking for in a home, but if you think about it, you may bring it about.
Yeah. There you go.
But at least like they feel heard. They're getting asked questions nobody's ever asked them.
Yeah.
So it's also, people know and like and trust people. So getting them to understand that you're really looking out for them and their best interest. They're going to, love working for you and also love referring you.
Yeah, and I love this idea because, so again, being a mental scientist, we have 60,000 thoughts every day. And about 80% of those thoughts are negative or unwanted thoughts, resistant thoughts, which means most people aren't as happy as they could be. And but what's a real kicker, and where I think you come in here, is 95% of those thoughts are the same thoughts we had yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And so I think which means we get the same tomorrows, because we're thinking
Yeah,
about what
that's
we
scary
think
to think
about.
about.
Yeah, yeah. And when you think also about, just like think about your habits, I always wake up and, I go do the whatever. And, it's how I floss my teeth or whatever. And, have
Mhm.
my coffee and the routines. And when you just think about what physically you're doing, you can kind of see oh yeah, I'm having the same thoughts, maybe to switch it up a little and expand my imagination. I call our imagination God's playground. And so to be able to expand our imagination. And so what I think your program then can do for us is really to help us with some new ideas on,
Mhm. Yeah.
because people really don't know. You mentioned they don't know what they want. A lot of people, most people don't know what really they want. They're used to
Yeah.
the same 95% stuff. So when they ask, they'll try to say something, but they're really not clear on really their desires about anything. But in this case, the home and how to change it or how to build it or whatever. And so am I correct in saying this will give you new ideas and creativity and increase your imagination to be able to help your clients understand what they want and then deliver it in this physical space that we
Yeah.
call.
So
Yeah,
the second step of it's just really outlining what their goals and their dreams are. And
yeah,
part of that too is like, we recommend people even like if your client has like a Pinterest like board or house board, like get that information because sometimes or even visit their existing home to see what is in that space because even if they're in an apartment right now they had hundreds of apartments they could have chosen to live in and they chose to live in that one, so find out what those reasons were behind it.
yeah,
So and then you can visualize like it's much easier for people to show you things often than to describe things.
yeah.
So being able to be in their home or see their Pinterest page or their house, you know, board, like just helps you to understand them better. And then, the third part of it is just the layout of the home, like teaching some really basic design skills that I use so
Mhm.
that they can walk into a home with their client and just kind of look at what spaces are too big, when they're
Oh,
showing homes and
yeah.
what ones are too small and where there's some opportunities to really make that home function. Just because it's a dining room now doesn't mean it needs to stay a dining room.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's see, you mentioned, so you have two things. You have a program, but also you have a book that you're going to offer all of us.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I have a on our website soldbydesign.net, we have a free ebook on there um, to teach real estate agents to think or to sell more homes by thinking like an architect.
oh,
So yeah.
sell more homes by thinking like an architect. I like that. I'm
And then
writing.
too in the final, the final step of the 4-step process, we also get into, you know, providing additional information for real estate agents on just mechanical systems and um, structural elements and things. Not that a client's not still going to, want to hire a home inspector, but
Yeah,
at least it gives them some additional information up front
yeah.
that, if everything in the home's 30 years old, it's going to have to be replaced soon.
Right.
So, and that's, if the homes are already pushing their upper limit of their budget, is that something they're really willing to spend? So, just giving more information to real estate agents as well on those components of the home so they can serve their clients on a higher level.
Great, great. That's great. Yeah, we're getting some comments here by some people, and they're loving the show. So
Oh,
thank you,
good.
Heidi. It's really great. And then can you then share on and so what is so that 4 week process that can help real estate agents sell more homes and be more knowledgeable and help yourself with imagination, expanding your client's imagination to help them understand what they want. How would we get that program?
So if you go to the soldbydesign.net
Okay.
website,
Uh-huh.
from there it'll link you
Okay.
back to the 4-week program to sign up for
Okay.
that.
Great.
Yeah, so that's a 4-week program, and so we meet once a week on that. But then
Oh,
there's
is
also
it live?
times I know that real estate agents are busy and things pop up, so you may not be able to be there right when we're live during
Yeah.
that week. So it's something you can also go back and listen to later in the week, or even if you want to listen to it a second time. And
Awesome.
then also there's a weekly Q&A, just so we can review everything in case there's questions, but then I just also ask any other questions that may have happened for someone during that week that they need some help with.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, that sounds great. And I think that's, really something that all of us should take advantage of. That I would say between that and I just came out with my new program called Easy Money, Easy Life. And it's like 3 videos and, whatever that great meditation, amazing meditation by Archangel Michael, and I have a money joy shop and all kinds of things that will get you easy money and an easy life.
Oh,
So
that's fantastic.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to check it out.
yeah. Well, between the two of them, that hey, we can have easy money, easy life, and you can
That's
run your
right.
business and be more knowledgeable and expand your imagination, and that's just super. And so, any other departing thoughts you want to leave with us, Heidi? That any wisdom you want to share with us?
I'm totally thinking about your program now. Archangel Michael. Yeah. So really, just you know, learning new things, like pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. Like nothing in your life is going to change. Like you said, like we think the same thoughts every day.
Yeah.
So, if you want to change the outcome of your next week, your next month, your next year, like you need to start thinking differently and thinking about what you can do to expand your knowledge and also how you serve others. Like they say, as you talked about money coming easy, like they say the fastest way for money to come to you is to serve others. So
Yeah.
finding out how you can serve others on a higher level
Mm-hmm.
and just helps
Right.
them do other things. So really, like my goal with my architecture firm and also with this is just to create more joy and happiness in
Oh,
households and families. Like nurturing families is so important to me.
yeah,
So,
that's beautiful.
if real estate agents can learn how to think like an architect, it helps them serve families and really find homes for them that align with their lifestyle, or
Yeah,
at least have the potential to align with their lifestyle. And
yeah.
that will add more value to their life and bring more happiness into their home.
Oh, you're a sweetheart, Heidi. I love that. Yeah, I could almost, just say, oh my gosh, I love that. Just, to bring more joy to people and for sure, and family and family can be, extended to, your work family.
Oh yeah. Your
That,
neighbor, your friends,
yeah, your
yeah.
friends, and
Your
so.
family's not always family. Sometimes it's friends. So
Right,
I live
exactly.
a bit from all of my family. So my
Yeah.
friends are more of
Yeah,
my
you got a big family.
yeah. But they're also 4 hours away, so I don't get to see them and attend
Yeah. Well,
gatherings as I used to. So
yeah. Well, at least on the main holidays you
that's
can.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
Heidi, we thank you so much. Your expertise as an architect is just amazing and really gave us some great thoughts there. And we thank you so much for being on the show again at soldbydesign.net. That's how to get a hold of Heidi's free book, Heidi's process, 4-week process that I don't think, most of us knew that something like this was out there to really help us and kind of be an architect, if you will, and to get those new ideas really to help people and serve people better and make them happy at home. So you're delightful, Heidi. We
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Dr. Hank. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, you bet. Well, thank you and bless you and everybody out there. This is Dr. Hank wishing you all the best and know you can be, do, and have everything that you want. And one easy way is for easy money, easy life. Check it out. Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.